the mayor of Broadview. Obviously, in this conversation about federal agents and especially ICE, on Fridays in particular, we have gone to Broadview for the last several weeks. I think we're at like 4 or 5 weeks now in that we've gone to Broadview, where there's been escalating tension. We've seen protesters and the agents out there clashing more and more, going into the weekends as well. And so we want to hear from the mayor there, who has become more and more of a voice in this, and even has instituted some new rules for the protesters as of today. Mayor Katrina Thompson, thanks so much for your time.
Oh, good afternoon. You're welcome. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's been a while since I've seen you face to face, and quite a bit has happened since then. So you just put on some new limits for the demonstrators. Can you explain that?
Yeah, so it's just putting some a policy in place that protesters are still welcome here, but from the time frame of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. We are still a residential area near that facility, and we live here. And I think it's important that people respect our dignity and our space as well. And so we have to put protocols in place. That's what's best for Broadview.
How long has that facility been there? Because I feel like we're talking about it quite a bit right now and over the last month, but that's not a new facility.
No, it's not. I believe it's been here since about 2003.
Okay. So tell me about the escalation then that you have witnessed in recent weeks.
So in the beginning, in the early stages, it started off as with peaceful protesting and people coming out doing prayer visuals, and some of the advocate groups have actually reached out to us to let us know when they were coming to either protest or do a prayer on Sundays. And then over a period of time, it just started escalating. And I don't know what that uptick was about, but it wasn't safe for our police, our fire department, or our community when they start launching the tear gas and the rubber pellets and those types of things. And so I have to stand up for the village of Broadview, even if I'm standing by myself with the village of Broadview. You know, some things is just, the work that we do is about the people. And it didn't cause for tear gas to be launched because somebody is calling you obscenity names or calling you out your name.
And when that tear gas is deployed, you mentioned the fact, and I think a lot of people kind of lose sight of the fact that it's not just the protesters out there who are affected. Would you maybe talk a little bit more about that?
So when that tear gas is launched, it's not just in that general area. And if the environmental conditions where the air quality, we got wind in the atmosphere, and that travels. So when it travels into our residential area where we have people with respiratory issues or, you know, some type of breathing or some type of health conditions that may impact their quality of life. And so that's very concerning to me. Not only that, we have the protesters that's out there that's being harmed. We have our journalists out there that's being harmed. And most importantly, we have our team, our police department that's there to protect and serve, and our fire department team that's there to care for those that's being injured. So it's a great concern of mine that, you know, it's impacting so many people at one time. And that's problematic.
Yeah, you used an example of Saturday night at 8 o'clock where there was an aggressive group of protesters. Situation got out of control, you said. All of 25th Avenue was closed. Protesters even attempted to take over Interstate 290, and you had 60 state troopers helping, and you still had to call for additional assistance with the local police department rushing in there. I'd like to ask you this, you know, with the new measure that you've taken, you've said that this is to support the right to protest and honor your duty to protect your community. But what do you say to people who feel it further restricts their free speech?
Well, you know, I can't make everyone happy, right? And so I recognize that. And I know it may feel offensive to those that want to protest anytime that they want to, because I believe most of the protesters probably work a job, like the people that live in Broadview work a job. And so we have an obligation to protect our community. They don't live here. When they finish protesting at the end of their shift or however they plan it out for them, they get to go back to their community without trauma, without drama, with the mess of ICE. And so I'm standing on those time frames because they get to leave while we have to stay here and still live under the conditions that has been caused because of the contentions or the chaotic situation that's taking place during this challenging time. Over there in that general area, we have families that have children that have developmental disabilities. And when those children have sensory issues, that's an uptick for that family. And so they have to do more work to bring their young person or their adult that's impacted with autism to make them feel safe. And why should we have to endure that as residents where we pay our taxes to this community to serve and protect us, but they get to go home and live in peace after it's all said and done?
So your village
So I
is
just really
suing.
want people to just really, just honor and respect that we live here. We're not going to other communities creating havoc. We just, want to protect the best interests of everyone. But I have to create that balance for all of us, those that visit us and those that live here. And I'm going to always look out for the interests of Broadview residents first.
So your village is suing the federal government over the fence around the facility. You say it's blocking emergency responders and much more. What's the status of that suit?
So we did go to court earlier today. We're waiting on a ruling within the next day or two.
Okay, and Kristi Noem and Greg Bavino were there last weekend. Did you meet with them? Have they been in contact with you? Have you been in contact at all with federal authorities since this all began?
No.
Okay. How or when do you see this all being resolved?
Well, I think it can be resolved by just people having conversation and just practice love and kindness to everyone, regardless of what party affiliation you affiliated with. It's a lot of emotions. People are politically hurt, so that's always challenging for us. But I don't know. I can't predict the future. I hope that if I'm sitting in my chair right now in my office, I would pray to God to say, can you just make it go away today?
Yeah, I'm sure. When you saw what took place in Dallas, where there were migrants who were shot and at least one who was killed, as it appeared that there was a gunman who was aiming for the ICE agents that were transporting them. What do you say then to Kristi Noem or Greg Bavino that says they're ramping up because they're trying to protect the men and women who are there at that facility?
Well, my belief is that the only one that can take and give life is God. And so but he give us all wisdom to protect ourselves as well, right? So, I'm not really on social media or watch a lot of news and press. I don't know what those people think and what their outcomes are, but the fear and intimidation to create that fear in people like they are the ones that's totally in charge. No, we're in charge of our state. Governor Pritzker is doing a great job handling the state of Illinois. I am the leader of the village of Broadview, and we ask for that respect. Have a conversation with us so that we can work out some things, but they want to come in here and create fear and intimidation in our state and in our communities. And that's not fair to the people that live here. We work very hard every single day to give a good life to every person at least in the village of Broadview, to give everybody a good lifestyle that we all can participate in. We can enjoy recreational activities. We can fellowship together. We can actually have community events, and it's all in love and kindness without all the extra stuff or the political fights that's taking place. And that's not fair to the American people that we caught in the middle of something that we can't even control.
So let me go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So let me ask you this. I know you're not on social media a lot, but Kristi Noem did say, and she showed video of her trying to get in the municipal building so that she could use the restroom. She and her team, she says, were turned away. Have you heard more about that, and do you know what happened?
I have not heard more about that, but what I do know is that if she had to use the restroom, she left a facility that's less than a mile away from where she was at, which is the ICE facility. She could have used the restroom there. So my ask is to all of the Republicans, the Democrats, and those independents alike to go do an inspection of that facility, because if she had to take the time out her day to come down here to say that she had to use the bathroom and was denied, why couldn't she use the bathroom at the facility that she oversees?
Good point, but why was she denied?
Why was she denied?
Denied entry into the municipal building.
Well, first of all, she came here with, at least from my perspective, she came here to be intimidated. And when you come into our village and you want to intimidate us, I have people that work for us that love the job that they do every day. And they don't have to be exposed to tons of, tens of people in military gear with their weapons, and then she shows up unannounced. So yes, I'm going to protect the integrity of our village, and I don't care who it is.